Previously on the Jason Factor.
Hey, what's up internet? Today's video is going to be kind of cool because we are going to be talking turbos. Here are the stock units that I pulled from the motor. I went ahead and I cleaned the turbochargers out of the 300ZX. It can take a bunch of horsepower to make extra horsepower, if that made any sense. It takes horsepower to make horsepower. So you're making more horsepower than it takes to make the horsepower. Okay, let's get back to turbochargers. Grab the shaft and move it side to side. If you grab it and you pull it in and out, leaking, stiff shaft. You lubricate it, leaking shaft. If that makes sense? Good. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is a GTX2860R Generation 2 ball bearing turbo. When we compare it to the stock turbo, you could see how much prettier it is than the stock turbo. You could also see how much larger it is than the stock turbo. It's at least 3 times as large as the stock turbo.
At least 3 times bigger than this.
He's absolutely right.
But we're going to make a video, an upcoming video that's going to focus on this new turbo. But for now, I did want to do a little bit of a comparison between the new turbo and the stock turbo. So give me a second while I relocate the camera and we'll do a really quick comparison. Hi, I made a chart. And because I have a chart, I have a pointer. Because I have a pointer, I have glasses. So this chart compares the two turbos, the old one and the supergiant new one. I tried to make the chart so it's easy to compare the two turbos. Here we have the compressor statistics, and here we have the turbine statistics. Compressor is in blue because compressor side is the cold side. Turbine is in red because red equals hot. Except for these 3 here, which are a bluish red because I wrote them in red by accident and then I had to go over them in blue. So don't worry about that part. So Garrett TB02/22 is the stock turbo. The Pulsar GTX2860R Gen 2 is the new turbo. When we compare the compressor side, the side you guys are looking at now, you could see that the wheel trim is a T2 on the Garrett and a 58 on the new turbo. The inducer diameter is 40 millimeters on the Garrett turbo, 46 millimeters on the Pulsar turbo. The exducer diameter is 51 millimeters on the Garrett turbo and 60 millimeters on the new Pulsar. And the housing is a TB22 on the old Garrett and a GT28R on the new Pulsar turbo. The max CFM that either of them is published to produce, 304 CFM for the Garrett, 535 for the Pulsar. So you could see here, this is an increase of 9 more millimeters, and here it's a 6 more millimeters, and a lot more max flow. So there's a misconception out there about PSI. So if you're running 10 PSI off of this turbo and 10 PSI off of this turbo, this one's going to make more power because it's delivering more volume of air at 10 PSI than this turbo would. Moving on to the turbine side. Oh shit. Okay. The wheel trim of the old turbo is a T22 or a 69. The new turbo is a GT28 or a 76. The exducer diameter in the old turbo is 38.9, and in the new turbo, 47. The inducer diameter of the old turbo is 47 millimeters and 54 millimeters in the new turbo, and they both use cannot see it. It's got a plug. They both use a T25 flange style. That's the comparison of the two turbos. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Remember, hit the subscribe button. And also, remember...
Not a mechanic.
What are you doing? Turbo problems. I got 99 problems, and these turbos are 2. That's where the magic happens.